Alice later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. On her way to the most important meeting of her career, a New York executive is forced to share a rental car with her ex-fiance's mother, only to discover that the mother is hiding a major secret. The ex has a new fiancé. So sets the stage for the movie Albany Road, which hits theaters on November 15th.
Paula! I got $20 if you can lose that check. Paula, wait!
If we lose this one, I can't afford you anymore.
Me? Back in the room? Come on.
Rumor has it my job is writing on you landing this account, so good luck, Celeste.
Oh, no!
Oh, what's wrong?
Don't let her see me. I am riding in this car.
Fine. Then assume your role as my driver.
I am not moving until you put on a seatbelt.
Talk about the odd couple, right? I hope we're not too much trouble.
No trouble.
Kyle?
Celeste.
I know, it's totally random. It's a crazy coincidence.
Well, I always say there are no regrets in life, only lessons.
But you can't always play it safe.
Well, Mom, same old everything happens for a reason.
I know what I said to you, but you're not hearing me.
Yeah. That's Paula. She tends to be very territorial when it comes to her son.
Your actions hurt people, and you can't always fix it after the fact.
I don't know what you're talking about. We come face to face with what we fear the most or what we want the most, and sometimes you win. And sometimes you lose.
What was I supposed to do?
Is everything all right?
Call me when you land.
Now might be a good time for you to tell me why she isn't your wife.
She was the old you before my mom got to her.
I can only imagine how all of this looks.
Joining me on the show now is Emmy Award-winning and Golden Globe-nominated actress Lynn Whitfield, who co-stars in Albany Road as Paula Henderson, the aforementioned ex-fiance's mother. Miss Whitfield, a pleasure to meet you. How are you this evening?
I am doing very well, and you?
Look, I am over the moon. I've been looking forward to this. And also, I'm pleased to be joined by the writer and director of Albany Road, Christine Swanson. Ms. Swanson, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great. Great to be here.
Christine, let me start with you. And I'm going to warn you that I may make a lot of references to my mother in this conversation because there's so much about you, Christine, and you, Ms. Whitfield, which make it seem like we're kinfolk. So, Christine, you're from Detroit. My mother's from Detroit. And the rules are whenever you meet someone from Detroit, you have to find out which high school they went to. So which high school did you attend in Detroit? My mother went to Cass.
Yeah, everybody went to Cass except me. I went to Shrine of the Little Flower Catholic School in Royal Oak.
All right. The reason I ask that is how much or how little does Detroit play in who you are today and the writer you are today?
Oddly enough, that's a Lynn Whitfield question.
It plays a whole lot. You know, Christine is a mixed woman, you know. She's Korean and Black, but she latched on to Detroit, buddy. I mean, she loves Detroit. She stands on it. She moves forward in it, and she puts a little bit of it. And there's a lot of it in Albany Road, a lot of it coming from the voice of Aretha Franklin, coming from a lot of her references, coming from just the edge that she has for it and the love that she has for the people of Detroit, the culture that she received there. And so it's like really funny. I'm like, well, Christine, you know, you have a lot of different cultures going on with you. She's like, it's Detroit. And she brings it, you know, so it's amazing. And you're going to feel a lot of it in Albany Road.
Talking about feeling, Ms. Whitfield, I was watching the trailer of Albany Road, and I have to say, I thought I was watching my mother on that screen. The mannerisms, the witticisms, the well-intentioned but poorly executed relationship advice. That is my mother. That is my mother. And then I remembered, oh, yeah, Just like my mother, you're a Howard University alum. Just like my mother, you're a member of the Lynx. Just like my mother, you're a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So did you like channel my mother or something like that? How much of Lynn Whitfield are we seeing in Paula Henderson?
Well, there's a little bit of me in every role that I tackle, but so many mothers are well-intentioned yet giving poor advice, and it was part of me, but I think that my daughter Grace would say that I'm cooler than Paula Henderson. You know what I'm saying?
We'll have to ask her just to be sure, though, because I know my mother thinks the exact same way. Hey, Christine, I think there's a universality in knowing what a long, uncomfortable car trip can be like. We've all been there on some level with someone at some point, but few of us know what it's like with a former would-be in-law. Where did the inspiration for this uncomfortable car trip come from?
See, the whole point of storytelling is to create conflict. So what's a great avenue to conflict but to be stuck in a car ride with your potential ex-mother-in-law? So it was just an idea to concoct the most conflicting scenario possible. And from there, it just all literally goes downhill. And we go on this journey and until we get back up to the right places again.
Ms. Whitfield, tell me about Christine's directorial style. I imagine, and tell me if I'm wrong, I imagine that there are these moments which couldn't be scripted in that car. I imagine that there are moments that couldn't be scripted when you have these emotions flowing around that dinner table and you're dealing with those interpersonal relationships and all that baggage and history and intensity. How much freedom, my word, did you have to just roll with the scene, and it may have taken you somewhere which led off the script?
Well, first of all, Christine creates an environment on the set that you feel like you can take chances. You feel comfortable in your own skin. You feel like someone's pulling for you and not judging you, right? So in that table scene, actually, and there are times when, a little improvisation is okay, but it was a timing thing. Mm-hmm. But the table scene has 2, 4, 6, 8, I think, characters in it. And so in that, you just have to remember that it's not only you, and so sometimes it's not easy to improvise, though we were never told no by Christine to not try something, If it wasn't right, she pulls us back. But she's a very mindful director, a very generous director, and extremely focused. And she never loses the sight of the goal of what that scene is to accomplish. And when you have a director that is that clear, it gives you the room to play because you know that she has your back. She knows she'll pull you back if you go too far out of line, My
guest right now is Emmy Award-winning and Golden Globe-nominated actress Lynn Whitfield, who you just heard, who's co-starring in Albany Road. And I'm also joined by the writer and director, Christine Swanson. We'll have more in just a moment. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, and I'm having a wonderful conversation. It feels like I'm just talking with family. And Albany Road, the movie we're discussing, is that. It's about the interpersonal dynamics of family. And sometimes it can be real uncomfortable, especially if you find yourself in the car with your would-be former possible in-law. And let me come back to you, Christine Swanson, who is writer and director of Albany Road. Was there ever a time, just say in your directorial career, where you see a scene and it's happening and you see some magic there, and then you immediately will change the script to add something because somebody did something and it inspired you in that moment?
That happens a lot. So what you want to do is create a succinct platform that everybody can just jump off from. So I would say we had a pretty tight script that 90% of it is on the screen. Mm-hmm. But You put these actors like in a room together and they just start bouncing off each other. And my job is to just kind of capture it and contain it, and the stuff that's magic to use it, and the stuff where they're just exploring to encourage it. So yes, like the energy and the chemistry between Lynn Whitfield and Renee Elise Goldsberry, who plays our lead, is like a lot of times I was laughing out loud like uncontrollably, because it was just kind of magic happening in real time. It was a gift. It's a gift to humanity to watch these two go on screen.
Let me talk about that magic and that chemistry, because what I loved about what I've seen of Albany Road, Miss Whitfield, is we likely find ourselves in the story. We've all likely had relationships that we may think back on and wonder what if, or whether there might have been an overbearing parent on our side or your relationship side, or maybe both. Did you, as a person, find yourself possibly identifying with Celeste Simmons, who was played by Renee Elise Goldsberry? Did you find yourself possibly talking to a younger version of yourself? Let me put it that way.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. The two characters take this journey together, starting off not liking each other, being very uncomfortable. And through time, they discover each other's humanity, right? So there are lines that I have, and we don't want to give any spoilers, but as they come to respect each other more and have compassion for each other's lives, I found there are lines that I say, that Paula says to Celeste, that it could be Lynn Whitfield speaking to the young Lynn Whitfield. And what is so moving about Albany Road, our film, that is coming out on November 15th in selected AMC theaters, I just want to get that in there, is that we explore the humanity of people. And yes, people that we know, people that we want to come to know better. And Christine, in her absolute genius in writing, creates an environment where it's all of these universal themes, themes that have no color, themes that it has to do with nothing but your humanity. And so in that way, this film is for everybody, and that makes it very exciting for me. But yes, there were moments, very clear and defined moments, where I wish I had heard and followed the advice that Paula gives to Celeste.
You're preaching right now. Christine, I have not seen the movie, full disclosure, but I get the sense, without giving away any spoilers, I get the sense that there are some realizations that the past is okay and the past serves a purpose because it prepares you for our future that we don't even know about.
Wow, that's deep. And you nailed it. Yes, all that.
I also suspect that, and tell me if I'm wrong, that it's okay to have a failed relationship because they failed for a reason.
You've been through some things, Mo, huh?
Look, that goes back to what Ms. Whitfield was talking about, the universal nature of relationships and how we may experience it in different ways. We will experience this movie in different ways. We may see ourselves as Paula. We may see ourselves as Celeste. We may see ourselves as a family member watching the turmoil of these two people that we may respect and love. Or we may be the new fiance realizing, what the hell did I just step into? I noticed that there's something still going on between these two. And I think that's why I'm so eager to see it on November 15th in select AMC theaters, as Ms. Whitfield reminded us all. Let me come back to you, Ms. Whitfield. When you are choosing a project like this, and I'm quite sure you have your choices that you can make, is it more about the script? Is it more about a degree of synergy with a director? You have that energy that flows. What goes into your decision-making process?
First of all, the story. What is the story? Then second, it is, what is the character and the arc of the character? Does it allow me space to bring something to it? Does it mean something to me? Is it entertaining to me when I read it off of the page? And then my Southern mother has this thing that she says that is so Southern. And she'll, she used to put an outfit together or put a throw pillow on the couch, and she'd say, "What do you think? Does it add?" So if I feel like all that I am and my vision for a particular project, if I can add something to it, bring something to the table, then it's exciting to me. Then it means I'll be able to play. And, whether it's watercolors or sculpting or whatever, and figuratively, through the art form of acting, then I get excited about it. So I got excited about Albany Road and Paula, and I got even more excited when Christine and I had our initial conversation about the project, and I realized that she wasn't a cookie cutter storyteller. Mm-hmm. She was, in fact, an artist with a vision, and that she was courageous, and that she was a lover of our culture. And so I said, yeah, I think I can have fun doing this, because it's an independent film and I don't want to overtalk, but also, which I do, but also when you meet a storyteller or any artist that's willing to back their own work. So Christine and her husband produced this themselves with their own money. When you meet someone with that kind of courage, you're willing to work for little, and you're willing to go and take a chance with them because they believe in what they're doing. And I could tell she was talented. Thank God, praise Jesus, knock on wood. It's not always like that.
Yeah.
So all of that came into play for me in deciding to participate in this project.
Ladies, can I get you to stay over for one more segment, because I want to talk to you more about Albany Road, some of the other featured cast members, and some of the other messages and meanings which could be found in that. Could you do that for me?
Yes, we'd love to.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're right in the middle of a conversation about Albany Road, which hits AMC theaters on November 15th. I'm speaking with writer and director Christine Swanson and one of the stars of Albany Road, Lynn Whitfield. And Christine, we almost forgot, this is a full cast of talented and intense characters and actors in this. Tell me who else is in this movie.
So speaking of intense actors, J. Alphonse Nicholson stars in this film as well. He plays the love interest to Renee Elise-Goldsberry. And you would know J. Alphonse Nicholson as Lil Murder from P-Valley.
Yeah, P-Valley. Yep.
Which is where I met him when I directed him in P-Valley. And I looked at him and I was like, that's a young Marlon Brando, and he don't even know it. So I scooped him up and put him in this movie. And then there's also Gary Dourdan, who, this is actually my third movie working with Gary Dourdan, who's been a heartthrob since he came on the screen.
So you're telling on yourself. Look out now. Don't get yourself hurt by your husband.
Well, too late. He's just a wonderful actor. And then Joe Holt, he plays this character that is just going to blow people away. Everybody loves it. It's for everybody.
Lynn, let me ask you about that, because I know some of my friends will say, oh, okay, this is a relationship movie. It's not for me. It's for the women. I don't know. Outside of taking my woman to this movie, I don't want to see this. What would you say to them?
Oh, no. This movie, the representation of men in this movie is very, very strong. And every actor stands in the middle of their characters that they're playing. And every male role in this, everybody wants something. Everybody's trying to gain something. Everybody's dealing with the consequence of their decisions. And so it is a human story. It's not a chick flick. It's a film for all people, for male and females, the whole family. You can go to it and it's like incredible. And the men are so, like, Joe Hope plays this character that is so wild and so funny. He steals every scene he's in. Gary Jordan, I mean, he's so sexy still and gallant and that whole thing. And the women are always swooning over him. And J. Alphonse is playing a character that is so different than Lil Murder. It's amazing. He plays a professor looking for tenure. And so to see them all and the women, it's just something for everybody in it, you know? And that is so very exciting because it's not often that you're in a project that's so equally balanced that way.
Yes.
Christine, I got to ask you, as someone who grew up of a lover of film and media, to have the dreams of forwarding your vision, directing for television and movies, and then start also developing the resume of great talent that you've been able to work with. What has this journey been like for you?
It's been long. I mean, I've been at this for a while. Lynn and I discussed how we actually missed each other. But mainly, I also have 4 kids that I raised. So I took a little bit of a break from working. And then when I come back, just to be able to work with Lynn and Whitfield is nothing short of like a divinely orchestrated act of grace by God. And what I would love to say about Lynn's performance in this movie, so many people are blown away. And I'm telling you, I'm not making this up because it's my movie. People are literally floored by the end of this movie and they're out of breath. And a lot of that has to do with the journey that Lynn's character takes us on. But I'm telling you, there is not an emotion that Lynn Whitfield has not played. She is putting in the work. And what's important about that is not just there's a great performance. There is that, but it's so transformative that it leaves the audience wrecked in a joyful way. Mm-hmm. When's the last time any actor on screen has made you feel like that as an audience member?
I can't think of something, but I'm quite sure it might be when I see Albany Road. In theaters, November 15th.
Yes, that's what you can expect and more.
We're in select theaters, so make sure you check to see what AMC theater we're in what cities. And the more people go and give us a strong kickoff with their presence and buy those tickets, the more theaters we can be in. So we're so grateful to you and to iHeart for giving us this time and for sharing our excitement about this movie that hopefully we'll go clear through the holidays. So, and yes, you take your family, take your friends, and go and spend some time with us.
At albanyroadmovie.com. At albanyroadmovie.com.
Yes.
November 15th. Albany Road hits theaters, select theaters, AMC theaters, November 15th. Do not miss your opportunity. I am going to be right there. Let me thank my guests one more time. Emmy Award winning, Golden Globe nominated actress Lynn Whitfield. Thank you so much for coming on this evening. It's been a treat. And writer-director Christine Swanson, thank you. I've been following your career. You know, when you did your episodes for Chicago PD, it's like, oh, yes. That's what happens with my favorite TV show of all time. So thank you both for coming on this evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing Albany Road, and I wish you both very well in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you so much.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere.